Hi guys, Marijka, Milton Public Library, back with you today with a new month. And this month, I will be bringing three different genres. So mystery, horror, and adventure. I decided to split it up into each week. So this week, we are starting it off with horror. So today I have some horror books for you. Let's get started. The first book that I have for you today is called Deadman's Castle, and this book is by Iain Lawrence. So Igor and his family have always been on the run from the Lizard Man. The Lizard Man is someone who his father says has been following him since he was younger. But now so they're constantly moving, and Igor's really not had any sort of normal life, and his whole life has been, running and living in fear, which is not very good either. But now Igor is around like the junior high age, and he just wants to feel some ground, feel some roots digging in the soil, and he just wants to be normal, and he doesn't understand. Like, he's literally never seen this person or any reason evidence that they should be scared. So after their last move, with the help of his mother, Igor enrolls in school, which is super exciting for him. But being the new kid is not easy, especially when your dad has this weird job where sometimes he has to dress up as a clown, which to me is more scary than embarrassing. But so at this point, Igor just really thinks his dad is crazy and that this lizard man isn't real. But as life starts to get easier at school, Igor starts having flashbacks that may answer some questions, and some scary stuff starts to come up, and he starts seeing some strange things. So it does get very scary. I mean, obviously being the new kid at school is pretty scary already, but that is Deadman's Castle, and it is by Iain Lawrence. All right, so the next book that I have for you is super creepy. It's called Whispering Pines, and this book is by Heidi Lang and Kate Bartowski. Okay, so Ray's father disappears. Everyone seems to think that he just up and abandoned the family, but Ray just knows that that's not what happened, and thinks it has something to do with his job. So he worked for the government, having to do with aliens. So she thinks there are two scenarios. One, he was abducted by aliens. Two, the government took him out or kidnapped him or something because he had information or didn't want to do something having to do with his job. It is serious, and everyone needs to be looking into this, although no one is, because they just believe that he abandoned them. So Ray and her mother move to a new town, and once they get to this town, Ray befriends the girl who lives next to her, Brandy, and they become really good friends until Brandy is brutally attacked. And Ray finds out that this is a common occurrence in this new town, that kids are taken, and some many kids are missing. Some come back and they're psychologically damaged, and it's just really, really crazy. But now kids are coming back and their eyes have been removed. So they're coming back, they're psychologically damaged, and their eyes have been brutally removed, which is just crazy. So she decides that she has to figure this out. She meets this kid, Caden, who is also trying to figure it out, but Caden is sort of the whole town looks at him kind of like weirdly because his mom is a psychic. So of course they believe that, you know, she probably has something to do with this, even though she doesn't. But some of the parents who kids have been missing come to her and like are trying to find them because you know, not all of the kids have come back, including Caden's brother, who has been missing for 9 months. So it's just really, really crazy. And Caden and Ray decide that they have to figure out what is going on. Because it's not just like this one really weird thing. There's like lots of weird things going on in this town. So they really want to try to like get to the bottom of it before more children. And it's just this super creepy book, so you just have to read it. But it is called Whispering Pines, and it is by Heidi Lang and Kati Bartowski. The third book that I have for you today is called The Dollhouse, a Ghost Story, and this book is by Charis Cotter. So Alice's parents are thinking that they need to get a divorce, so they decide that they're going to spend the summer away from each other. Normally they spend the summer at a cottage with some friends, but they have decided that they are going to do 2 separate things this year. So Alice is now spending the summer with her mom, who is working as a sort of like caregiver nurse, live-in nurse for this patient, Miss Bishop, in the Blackwood house. So on their way to the Black Hills house, Alice's train makes a hard stop, and Alice gets this like really super bad concussion, which is an amazing way to start your summer. Not, but is an amazing way to start a horror book. So the Blackwood house is full of all of these like crazy antiques that Alice is not allowed to touch, which is understandable. And Miss Bishop is not nice at all, which again just adds more to this story. So, but she does find a friend in Lily, who is the daughter of the house cleaner, and together they start exploring the house, and they find a dollhouse that is an exact replica of the house they are currently in. And then it gets really weird because stuff starts changing and doing things in the dollhouse all on its own, and then those things start happening in the real house. So it's really just crazy. And yeah, so that is The Dollhouse, a Ghost Story by Charis Cotter. All right, the fourth and final horror book that I have for you today is Paola, Santiago, and the River of Tears, and this book is by Tehlor Mejia. So this follows Paola, and she is a science girl. She loves science and space and all of those sorts of things. She just has a really scientific mind, and she, like, 1,000,000% does not believe in her mother's Mexican folklore, so, or superstitions. But when one of her friends goes missing, she starts to change her mind because her friend goes missing, and then this like really crazy series of events leads her into another dimension that's connected to her friend's disappearance, but then also all of these other children who are missing. So it's just a really sort of fun take on the La La Lauron folklore. I totally butchered that, like usual with names. And it has some really awesome twists and turns that'll keep you entertained the whole book. And it's, you know, pretty creepy. So that is Paola, Santiago, and the River of Tears by Tehlor Mejia. All right. Those are my horror books, and yeah, I hope that they strike some sort of chord with you and that you enjoy them. And next week, I think I will be doing mystery books. So yeah, I will see you next week. Bye.